Hi there, this is Marisa from DigitalScrapbook.com, and today I am working on some prompts from the Designer Madness for 2023. And in this video, I am going to make two tiny patterns here in Illustrator, and then I will take them over to Photoshop and turn them into papers. So first I have Illustrator here, and I'm just going to open a new file and get that going. And it's really quite easy to make patterns in Illustrator. So that's usually where I do them. I'm going to start here with my circle. I'm just going to make a polka dot pattern here real quick. I just am going to switch this here so it's a full circle. I'm going to make it a little smaller. And then I'm going to come here, object. What are we doing? Pattern, make pattern. All right, now you can see it's already made my pattern. So we're going to increase this a little bit, see how big we want to make it. And then if I switch this here, now we have it alternating. I think I want to add in a little more. We'll make it wider. It's looking pretty good. All right, that looks good to me. So I'm going to say done. And now here, I just like to make a new layer. I can turn that one off so I can save my pattern elsewhere. And I'm just going to make a square here, and then I'm going to fill it with this pattern I just made. So this is a nice size here. I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm just going to call it paper 1. I'll make a new folder here for all my papers. So we'll save this here. Then the best way I've found to get this out of here is to come here and say save for web. And then I'm just going to make this the size I want for Photoshop and export it here. This is the best way I found to do it. All the other ways will have a little line in it from where the pattern is made. And then I'm going to go ahead here and right-click on my pattern and say transform and then scale. So now this is why it's nice to do it in Illustrator, because we can very easily make it any size we want. We can shrink it down. Let's make it quite a bit. So no, we don't want to do that. What we need to do here is say just transform the pattern. And there, now we have a tiny polka dot. So I'm going to go ahead and export this one as well, so we can have two different sizes of polka dots. Okay, so we've got that one. Now I'm going to go ahead here and on a new canvas, we'll make one more pattern. I think I'm going to try to make a kind of like a scallop pattern. So I'm just using here my arc tool. I'm going to make one. I was holding down shift there to make it kind of a perfect circle. And then this, I'm going to right click and I'm going to reflect it here. Didn't do it. Okay, you know what? We'll just spin it like that. Okay, so now I want to connect these two here. So we'll connect both of them, put them together. Then let's zoom in here. And we can use this tool, which is, you can find it here. This menu has flown out here. So this is the join tool. So I'm going to run it there. So now I just have one piece. And let's zoom back out. We can probably shrink this down. I don't know if we want to make this a little thicker too. Is probably too thick. Let's try that, 1.25. Okay, so we're going to come up here to Object, Pattern Make. And then we're going to go ahead here and mix it up there. Let's zoom in to see here if we want to. I think I might smush it together just a little bit. So 0.35 is probably good enough. And then the height is good. So I'm going to say done. And then I'm going to go ahead here and just hide this layer so that we can see this new one we've made. And I make my square. But see, it's not filled with anything, but my pattern is right here. I'm just going to turn off the border. And this one, I feel like I always like a really tiny pattern. So I'm going to scale this one down a little bit. Maybe not quite that much. Let's see how 50 looks. All right, I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as paper number 2. And then let's export this as well. Save for web. So yeah, there are other ways to export images like PNGs from Illustrator, but this is the only way I have found where it doesn't have, you know, like a little line from the pattern in it. All right, so now I'm back here in Photoshop, and I'm going to open up my, that looks way too small. Is that right? No, that's not right. Okay, we want this to be 300, and we want the inches to be 12. I don't know what happened there. Okay. Okay, so now we have our paper canvas here, and I'm just going to come back here to where I saved my things, and we'll just drag it in. And now it's just a matter of choosing what colors to use. So I have my polka dots here. I'm going to go ahead and lock the transparency there because I don't want to get, I don't want my pixels to get weird. Now let's see here. These are the colors I'm using here. So we can go ahead, I think I'll just maybe do this one minty. So I'm going to do these ones minty, dark minty, and then this one I'll just do a lighter color. Easy enough. And then I usually, when I'm making papers, I just use these paper texture styles that Elif made. They're available on our website at DigitalScrapbook.com. And I think the first ones are slider, which is probably what I use. Maybe I'll use number 3. So you can see here, this is just added in a really subtle amount of texture. And I'm going to go ahead and save this as paper 1, but we got to put it in the right spot. Let's see, what are we doing? Here we are. All right, I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to go ahead. I guess I need to give this kid a name. I don't know, guys. Names is not my forte. Okay, I'm just going to call it papers for now. And then I'll save my final one. In here, this will be my final folder where that I will upload eventually when I'm all done. All right, and I can show you here these, let's see here, paper texture styles. Let's see if we can find this here. Just so I can show you. Let's see, I think they're these ones right here. So these ones are really nice. You see she has a set of slight ones and then a strong set. So depending on what you're doing, these are the ones that I usually use when I'm making my papers. I'm going to bring this one in here just on the same one. And then I'm going to go ahead and lock this one. I think I'm going to make these yellow. Add my texture, and I'm going to do these white. And I'm just going to choose the stronger one here for my white. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll do this black. Oh, no, I don't like that either. Brown? Oh, brown's okay. All right, we'll go back to that one. All right, so this, we'll call this, I'm just going to call this one B because it's also polka dots. And then save my JPEG here. All right, and then we've got one more. So I guess I made an extra one because I made 2 sizes of polka dots. I think, shall I, should we do black and white here? We've got this kind of a light tan. Okay, I'm going to do that one. This is just a slightly less intense black. And I'm going to give that a little texture, which you can hardly see. I'm going to give this one a little darker texture too, just in case. And I like that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then as I go along making papers, I do usually like to put them in my folder. Let's see, do I have it in here? Yep, I do. Okay, so I've already copied this in here. And we will need to just drag in these papers here. I just like to drag them in here so I can kind of see like my balance of colors and patterns just to make sure everything is looking good. At this point, it doesn't really matter because we don't have a lot of stuff. So we'll just kind of put the stuff in here. And then as I'm going, I will continue to add the papers in here. All right, so I'm going to pause here for now, but I am going to be back soon with some more papers and pattern making. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.